So, this one's gonna be again about Tribe of Mentors by Tim Ferriss. And as you can hear, my voice is a little bit different, because my nose is somehow like just closed or whatever you wanna call it. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I hope this is not boring you. I hope it is quite fine for you. And I still hope that this episode's gonna be a good episode and that this episode's gonna be a really valuable one for you as well. But yeah, there's gonna be more after the intro. As always, as every day. But yeah, I am looking forward to this episode, and I am looking forward to recording this episode also because it is fairly early. It is a quarter before 10 a.m., which is really nice, I'm gonna record both episodes now, and then I finish it, and then it's quite cool, Then I'm actually having quite some time today left for doing something else, which is probably gonna be like learning maths, just because I'm having an exam on Monday. Today is Saturday. And I've been fortunately able to learn something yesterday and the day before, and it's quite fine. Yeah. All the necessary links should be down in the description. So if you're searching for something, it's probably gonna be in the description or in the show notes if you are on the podcast. But as you can already see in the background, which is nice, which is always nice. And when I'm starting everything, when I'm starting the software and everything is just good to go and everything's fine, I like that. I really love that. So we're going to talk about best investments, which is the first one we're going to go through today. I think those two are probably going to be the most valuable ones from them all, actually. Maybe. And there are quite some left then, which is really cool, because then we're able to go through that I don't know. I think we're going to finish up with it like the next week, probably. But yeah, so let's go through the best investments. What is one of the best or most worthwhile investments you have ever made? Could be an investment of money, time, and or energy, and just etc. Like there's going to be a lot of different investments for all those people, I assume. Just because I've actually had a look at all those people that are featured in the book. It's been like 95% because Tim Ferriss said like, okay, you're only going to have those 95%. I'm going to show you these 95%, and the rest you're going to see in the book, So that is like a little bit of a surprise and a little bit of a, yeah, I would say actually surprise, that you're not going to just spoil yourself too much, I would say. But there are actually really, really, really a lot of people. I think it's more than 140, if I remember it correctly. Like it's really a lot of people and really a lot of successful people. Like it really is amazing. It really is amazing what he was able to do with this book and also with Tools of Titans. It is just insanely amazing. There was a pattern there. Most successful people chose these three things. The first one is education and mentors, the second one is meditation, and the third one is investing in others' success, which is something that's pretty interesting, investing into somebody's success. The thing there is, like, as I'm just thinking about it, like, if you're just investing in somebody else's success, then it is probably like just regular investing, isn't it? If you're investing into Uber, you're basically investing into Uber's success, some sort of, because you're giving them your money and they can do whatever with it, as I'm just thinking about it, but, never mind. The first one is Tim Urban. Invested the first year's profits into hiring better employees, reinvesting in his own business instead of giving himself a bigger salary, which is, by the way, something that every single business person, at least in my point of view, should be doing. If it is about growing the business, if it's about just sustaining the business, I would say it's totally fine. The problem there is, what about inflation? What about just economical changes? What about just different years, different times, Because, okay, if you're having a printing press in 1920, it's probably been a pretty okay business. But nowadays it's like, a little bit fucked up because there's not too many books that are just printed at its time. And you're probably going to be too expensive, because there's a lot of online printing services. And by using them, it's way cheaper and probably also faster. But like there's downsides and upsides, of course. But like, yeah, times change. And this is something that we actually have to adjust to, Also with what I'm actually thinking about is just AI and autopilots in terms of, for example, cars and whatnot. They are going to change a lot of things, as well as blockchain. But this is definitely not something that I'm educated in. Like, I would actually say that blockchain is one of the things that I quite know nothing about. But it is so like in society and so like in just people's minds and whatnot. But I would say like everyone that is having a job, which is something that Seth Godin also said, taxi driving, which might be being in an assembly line. All those things, they are going to be replaced by AI, robotics, do not want to say cyborgs, but maybe cyborgs and all those things. Like, they are probably going to be replaced in the next maybe 2 decades or maybe even 1 decade. And this is actually something to look out for if you are in such a position, if you are working such a job, because who knows if you're going to have your job in the next 2 decades. Maybe not. Maybe you're going to have it. Who knows? And this is actually something to really look out for, because there are actually a lot of signs, to be honest. Like, there are a lot of signs that you should be listening to and that you should be seeing, so that you're not gonna just be fucked in the end. Because if you're not having a job and nothing that you actually can be doing, like, it's not really good. But the next one is Patton Oswalt said it was the year of poverty line living I did, burning off 3 years of savings. I got on stage at least once a night and grew 10 years as a comedian in a year, which is amazing. For Jason Fright, it's every time he's given without any expectation of return, purely for helping and supporting. Then Ariana Huffington invests constantly in her sleep, productivity and well-being, which is something that's totally making sense at my point of view. Then Brené Brown invests time and resources trying to figure out exactly what the problem is, instead of jumping to fixing way too fast. And the last one is Tommy Vietor. I'd say it is V-I-E, T-O-R. Loved foregoing jobs that paid well for positions that gave invaluable experiences. So I would say, like, this is totally coming up to just what you are valuing. If you're valuing just comfort, and if you're valuing just convenience and all those things, you're probably going to invest into some things that are going to give you convenience, whether it be just a driver, whether it be like just a team, that is doing the shit that you are not willing to do, which is something that I can't really understand, because like, I'm almost thinking about it as just the business of YouTube. Editing the videos is only a fucking task. It only is a fucking task, and it really pisses me off, just because I'm basically only cutting out those parts where I'm not saying anything, because there are a lot of parts where I'm not saying anything. And it is not really nice for the viewing experience, and also especially for the listening experience. If there's like a minute of nothing, it is something that not everyone actually wants to listen to, or nobody actually wants to listen to, at least in my point of view. Like, it's my point of view, but it is like a task, it is something that's really unnecessary, and it is only just taking off time of me, if this makes sense. I don't actually know. But it's just like, it's a task, that's just costing me a lot of time, and it's a lot of energy, and a lot of just unnecessary time and energy, which is something that, okay, let's give it to somebody that could also be doing it, because there's nothing you could be doing wrong. On the other hand, if you're having a team, you're probably having to give them some power, in terms of, okay, you're not going to have the whole creative power, or the whole just power of the content that you're making, or the service that you're having, because there's somebody else that is working on it, and not only you. This is something that I think everyone has to learn, that is willing to do something like that, so that you're gonna be in charge, but you're not gonna have the full power over what is happening, because somebody else is doing it and not you, basically. And I think it is actually something that some people are struggling with, and quite a lot of people are struggling with, which is something that I can understand. Like, I really can understand it, because I don't know, like, if you have been working in a job or working on something for just a decade or even more, and then you're giving it to somebody else just because you kind of like just have to change it up, so that you're kind of basically doing the HR part, and therefore the other people are just doing the actual job that you were doing before. Like, it must be pretty tough. It must be pretty tough, just because, like, yeah, it's been your job, it's been your passion, it's been your thing that you've been doing for quite some time. And then going into a management position just because you're the CEO, which is probably going to be the case, I think a lot of CEOs are just, besides Elon Musk, he says that he's often in the engineering and designing part, and he's not really doing anything with HR too often. But I guess it really is often about management, human resources and all those things. The next one is impactful habits. In the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior or habit has most improved your life? Again, there were common patterns amongst the answers, such as meditation, walking, sleeping well, working out, no sugar diet, and expressing gratitude. The most interesting replies were from Jana Levin, whatever, strives to find calm, measured responses, and to see obstacles as a chance to problem solve. In the past, she would think, if only that hadn't happened, life would be so good. Now she realized life is the obstacle. Yeah, some sort of, like, there's gonna be a lot of challenges in life, and I would definitely say that being like, okay, why did this happen to me, and just complaining about it and just being hating it and whatnot, it's not gonna make anything better, first of all. And it's probably actually gonna make everything worse just because you're putting yourself into a space where you kind of are a victim, which is not gonna be that good. I guess there's not too much that bothers me that well or that much as my hair being in my fucking face and I can't see anything. But yeah. The second one is Julia Galaf says, when something goes badly, I don't automatically assume I did something wrong. She asks herself whether she still expects her approach or actions to give the best results overall. If yes, she carries on. Don't beat yourself up. Even the best policies will fail some % of the time. And it's probably going to be the case. But I would even say that I've been talking about it before. I think it's actually been like the last week I've actually had a single episode on this topic, which is blaming yourself and blaming other people, but especially blaming other people, because it is actually something that a lot of people are unfortunately doing, like only blaming anyone else but not themselves, which is like fucked up, which is really fucked up, just because it's not gonna do any good to you. It's not gonna do anything just good to your life. It's only doing bad to your life, because if you're blaming somebody else, even though you are the problem, you have done something wrong, it was your mistake, you're not taking any responsibility. Responsibility, yeah. And it is like, you should be taking the responsibility. Not only do I think is it a good idea just because in a lot of positions in the corporate life, you're gonna have a lot of responsibility, especially if it is your own business, then you're basically responsible for everything. But it's also like, I don't know, like seeing your own mistakes and just noticing, okay, it's been your mistake. I think it's also having something to do with progress and progressing as a human being, progressing as a person. If you're constantly blaming somebody else and therefore not just making any mistakes whatsoever, then you're probably gonna stay the same, like just for years or decades, because you're not seeing that it's been your mistake and it's been your failing, it's been your thing and whatnot. So it's fucked up. It really is. But on the other hand, blaming yourself for everything is also something that I do not really believe is kind of the best thing you can be doing. Just because, I don't know, it's gonna hurt a lot, I think. It's gonna not be too good, because it's not that nice to be blamed for everything and to blame yourself for everything. Even though I do kind of assume that some people are actually kind of defaulting into that, unfortunately, really unfortunately. Because as I said, it's only gonna make their life worse. Even though you're gonna be in charge, If you're blaming yourself, you are the person that has to change something and not somebody else. Which could be like a pretty good indicator for if it is actually you or if it is somebody else that is to be blamed, If you're just, I don't know, if you're able to do something and by changing yourself and by changing something that you're doing, is the situation gonna be better? If yes, then it's probably your fault and you are to blame. But if it is a no, then it's probably not your fault or your mistake, because I don't know, just if it is raining and you kind of feel like, well, if I change something about my behavior, maybe it just will stop raining, but it probably won't. Maybe, yeah, because chance is actually there, which is then a really fucked up thing. But I guess that's gonna be trial and error and trying out just a lot of times, not only once. But if you kind of just, I don't know, are in an argument with somebody and you kind of feel like, well, he's the one that did something wrong and blah, blah, blah. What if you change something up? Is it going to make something different? Probably, yes. Therefore, like, yeah, who is to be blamed? Maybe both. Maybe only you. Maybe only the other person. So, yeah. The third one is from Kevin Kelly, the author of 1000 True Fans, which is actually a really good thing. You should be reading it. I might be linking it down in the description or in the show notes if I'm not forgetting about it. 1000 True Fans. It is for free on the web on Kevin Kelly's site, which is kk.com, I guess, or .org. I'm not quite sure. So Kevin Kelly avoids working on the things that someone else could do, even if he enjoys doing it and would get paid well to do it. This way, he's left with projects that only he can do, which makes him distinctive and valuable. Which is really the fucking case. If you're the only one that is able to do so, you're the only one that is able to do so. And not everyone's just having to come to you and having to just ring your bell and take you as their just freelancer or whatever he's doing. I don't know. The fourth one is Catherine Tanja David Storia or something. I am sorry, I really am. Has embraced the belief that her best is enough. And it is so easy to get caught up in the thought that to win you must do something extraordinary. You can always give your absolute best effort regardless of physical state or circumstances. Yeah, you can. You really can. And especially like, as you can hear, I am probably not going to be in the best health position whatsoever at this point in time. Like, just, I'm doing really good. Fortunately, I am actually really happy about the fact that I'm doing really, really, really good. Like, there's nothing that's too fucked up, and it's really fine at this point. You know, it could be way, way, way fucking worse, but it could also be slightly better, you know? But I'm still doing everything. I'm still doing my workouts. I'm still recording. I'm still just gonna learn. I'm still gonna just do the shit that I'm willing to do and that I'm having to do. Because I don't such a lot give a fuck about how I'm feeling. You know, it's gonna be tough, you know, especially working out. It is not that nice. It is not that easy, and it's not that pleasant as just working out when you're just in a really good mood and you're just really energetic and really energized and powerful, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna crush this fucking workout and you're gonna just whatever. It's gonna be something different, you know. It really is gonna be something different. But yeah, you know, I don't care how I feel, or I shouldn't care about how I feel. You know, probably gonna be about consistency instead of authenticity. A few rapid fire answers. Richa Katja tends to look at the larger picture. Max Levinchin focuses on his strengths. Bear Grylls learns to enjoy the process rather than always strive for the future. Chris Anderson believes that the best way to get things done is to let go of control, which is something that I've been talking about just before. You know, this is what I meant by just giving them the power and not being in control. And the last one is Daniel Negreanu has realized that all events are natural and we can choose how to react to them, which is definitely the case. And this is also one of the reasons why I really enjoy these types of books. And I'm also really happy to go through them just because there's so many different answers. You know, there's so many different perspectives on the exact same thing, on the exact same question, on the exact same statement as well. And everyone's thinking about these things in a different way. And it's just really nice to just see and also figure out what is going to be the best for you. You know, if you should be focusing on your strengths, if you just should be doing something else, if you should be doing this and that. It is really good. It really is good to just figure out what is going to be the best thing for you. And it's also really good to spark some new ideas in your mind, you know, especially like how to react to them. We can choose how to react to them. It's just totally the fucking case. It really fucking is. Because you can always just choose, quote unquote, to be angry or choose to, quote unquote, be happy about a situation. You can choose. Normally it's gonna take like a millisecond, and then you're gonna be like really angry or really happy or whatnot. But in fact, you can choose. You can always choose. You know, there's always a decision that you can make, whatever is happening. You know, whatever scenario you might be in, whatever scenery it might be. Like if there's something fucked up going on, I'm probably gonna be fucked up as well. I'm probably not gonna be happy about that. But I can also choose to just see it in a different light. I can also choose to feel about it in a different way. I'm not really talking about just changing the way you're feeling in terms of like changing your feelings, but more like, okay, changing how you're viewing things, I guess. I think it's not really about the feeling itself, but how you look at them, how you look at these things, how you look at these statements, these scenarios, those objectives, those whatever is going to happen or whatever is happening. Just think about them and seeing them in a different light and thinking about them in a different way. But yeah, I guess this is actually going to be the end of the episode. I'm afterwards going to record the second one for tomorrow, or the first one for tomorrow actually. But yeah, I'm gonna see you the next time, so please subscribe to the podcast and to the YouTube channel if you want to. You know, I would really appreciate that. I really would. But yeah, I'm gonna see you the next time. Therefore, I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, which basically means that you're just gonna be a nice person and also gonna be remembered as a nice person. 3 other questions are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea. And with that being said, I'll see you the next time. I hope at least.